Hey guys, we have some really exciting news for this video. Drum roll please. We're no longer laid off because my husband was able to land a job with a big software company. As excited we are about this news, unfortunately we can't be too excited because it's going to be a major transition for us due to the major pay cut that my husband had to take even after salary negotiations. So that means we're going to have to work efficiently with our finances and figure out how to live on a limited budget. In this video, we will be going over our plans on how we're going to adapt to our new normal, as well as what we will be focusing on in the upcoming weeks to make sure that we still save towards our 6-month emergency savings fund, and more, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Cindy and welcome to my channel where we talk about how we pay off our debt as well as how we increase our financial literacy. My husband applied for a site reliability engineer role, and for this role it did come through a referral. The funny story is the person that we asked to refer him completely forgot to refer him to the position that my husband was originally interested in, and unfortunately that position was already filled and therefore they closed it out. But my friend was still able to come through by referring him to another open position that he thought that my husband would be a good fit for, and that ended up being the position that he landed. This interview process took about a month altogether. It consisted of 6 rounds where he was interviewed on his cultural fit, how he got along with the team, as well as testing his programming skills and his soft skills. The interview rounds varied in difficulty, with the technical round being the most difficult for him. He spent a lot of time studying and preparing for the programming challenges that he had to deal with, but all that studying and prepping really paid off because the information was fresh in his mind when he stepped into the interview the following days. Once he was able to complete all 6 rounds of interviews, he did have to wait quite a while because they still needed to finish interviewing other candidates, and after that, there was a lot of back and forth with salary negotiations. Salary negotiation was the most challenging part of the interview process, and honestly, it was the most challenging salary negotiation we've ever had to do in our lifetime. This time around, we got a lot of pushback from recruiters. What we saw was recruiters were declaring the salary ahead of time and making sure that you were happy with it before proceeding further. It was difficult to really push back or negotiate because we found that if we did that earlier or set expectations earlier, it really affected his opportunity to land an offer and ultimately rejected sooner in the interview rounds. Another challenge about the salary negotiation was that when he was looking, he saw that a lot of the ranges were much lower than what he is currently making. As we've mentioned before in our previous videos, we were looking about a $40,000 to $50,000 pay cut. Some speculation that we have to the decrease in salary is due to us coming from California and moving here with our California salaries. It was easier for us to move here with our current companies and not have a change in our salaries, and when we went for new companies, it was much easier at that time to negotiate keeping or getting a pay raise due to what we were making prior and the high demand for workers. After speaking with some recruiter friends, we were able to understand better that because we live in the southern tech hub, we are pretty comparable to the Raleigh and Charlotte area of the South, so therefore Atlanta is pretty comparable to salaries over there. And comparing our salaries to what the California salaries are in the Bay Area, we would be expecting anywhere from a 10 to 20% pay cut to accommodate cost of living in the South. So we can't speak to if our pay cut is due to the general pay cuts that we're all experiencing when looking for jobs in the tech industry, or if it's just due to our location and our cost of living in the South. But regardless, we know that it is a significant pay cut for us, and it will be a big adjustment for us in terms of our finances and cost of living over here and what we're used to. But overall, we're still pretty happy with landing a job and having something that covers the bills. In the end, when he received the offer, it wasn't really the ideal offer he was hoping for, so he tried negotiating for more based on the research that he did for the area. And the final result ended up being that the company came back offering him $10,000 more as their final offer. This role is a mid-level role, meaning he is not in a senior role like he was in his previous company, but he is looking forward to the opportunity to learn and grow within the company because there is opportunity to get promotions and move up in levels within his team. So he's hoping that his hard work will pay off, where he can get opportunities for a full bonus as well as pay raises and opportunities for promotions. With this $40,000 pay cut that we'll be experiencing, that means that unfortunately we will not be meeting our 6-month emergency savings goal by mid-November like we had originally planned and discussed in our previous 6-month emergency savings fund video. It's not the end of the world because ultimately we're just really happy to have expected income again, and it's enough to cover our expected expenses, which we're really happy about. We'll still be working towards saving towards our 6-month emergency fund because nothing is guaranteed, and we definitely don't want to find ourselves unprepared next time. Originally, we were working towards saving $34,000 for our 6-month emergency savings fund, but it's going to take us a little longer with our new circumstances, and we'll be making a future video where we'll be going over that in more detail on our new savings plan for our emergency fund, so make sure to stay tuned for that. I'm curious about your thoughts on an emergency savings fund and if you feel like 6 months is still enough. I know that one of you guys commented that you're working on saving for a 1-year emergency savings fund, which I think is really brilliant. And that's something that I hope that we could work towards one day. Also, how do you keep yourself accountable and force yourself to make sure that you meet your savings goals? We will also be making a new video talking about what our new revised budget will be looking like going forward. Before we get into that, I'd like to take 30 seconds of your time to talk about our sponsor, Love Magnolia. As I've mentioned in my last video, Callie from Love Magnolia has been so gracious to agree to style me for 5 videos, and this is outfit number 2 that you see me wearing here. This top is the Would Have Been You top in the color cinnamon, and the jeans that you see me wearing here is the Promise Me This jeans. It has a really unique design with how it buttons up, so if you're interested in this outfit or checking out Callie's clothes from Love Magnolia, make sure to check out her link in the description and make sure to use the promo code BUDGET10 for 10% off. Getting back to the budget, with the salary cut, we really need to evaluate what our everyday expenses will look like. That's where we'll be going over our expected and necessary expenses and how we can still manage to set aside money for sinking funds, savings, as well as any spending that we need to do for things like groceries, health, pets, etc. Setting ourselves a budget for these past few months since we've been laid off has really done wonders for us and our savings goals. So we want to make sure that we still stick to a budget even though it's going to be revised and even though we're going to have income again. We want to make sure that we get our spending under control so that we don't get back into debt. So make sure to stay tuned for that video as well. And if you haven't done so already, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up and like and subscribe to the channel so that you can get notified about our upcoming videos if you like content like this. Ever since we got laid off, we made drastic changes such as stopping our contributions to our 401k as well as doing additional withholdings for our taxes. And now that we are employed again, we want to reconsider those things, especially the 401k contribution, which we're most likely going to continue contributing to. So we'll be going over all that in that upcoming video about our new budget. The emotional impact of these layoffs have been a roller coaster for us. And I've been raw with you guys before in my previous videos discussing how challenging of a time this was for us and how challenging it was on our marriage. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for what a great support system and community that you guys have been for me. And for my friends that are watching, I want to thank you guys for really supporting us through all of this and thinking about ways that you could help us whatever way that you can. The referrals that my friends have been doing for us have really meant a lot for us, and we can't express how appreciative with our whole support system, YouTube, friends, family, and everything. So thank you all. We feel like we wouldn't have gotten here without your support, without your prayers, and without all the helpful advice and resources that you have shared with us. We feel stronger going forward, and we feel like we're more prepared now than ever before for what life brings to us. For those of you that are still going through these layoffs and trying to secure a job, I want to encourage you to keep going and to not give up. I know that we are all on different timelines on this journey, and for some of you, it may have felt like this was really fast for us to secure something, but for us, the clock could have not been slower. Even though in total it was about 3 months since we've secured a job since the news of layoffs, it did feel like much longer for us with just how drastic this would have impacted us going forward. My husband and I have definitely learned a lot about ourselves and about our finances, and we're ready to pivot and change and adapt for whatever is to come. Even though we're not getting the ideal salary that we would like, or we're working with less than we are used to, we are going to make it work, and we're going to pivot, because after all, this is really all just temporary, and as long as we stay motivated, we'll get to where we want to be in life, and we're more prepared with managing our money now than ever before. As for what's going to happen with the future of this channel and this series, it's not over yet. We still have a lot of great content coming your way, such as our new budget video, our new 6-month emergency savings fund, and some fun videos such as the extremities of putting ourselves on a $100 grocery budget for 4 weeks. Thank you all for watching this video, and we hope to catch you in the next one.